I got this from a Coke box, an empty Coke box. So I took an empty Coke box and I tried to open it to get this, just this brown bit and not the red bit. My paper looks a bit light, so to give it more integrity, I'm going to glue this on my paper. So I'm going to put the glue on the rough side so it can stick properly. Now this is brown paper on top of brown paper. I'm not even sure this would work, but I guess if we don't try, we will never know. So all over, so that in case you have to cut into your collage, and we're going to put this down. We're going to start from the one side and work our way to the other side. So we started building our journal yesterday, and this is what we have so far. Here is the stage we've gotten to. So for a quick recap of the last video, I created these pages from A4 envelopes. I used some of my old wrapping papers on them and also added one or two things. I glued them down. And for this one, I sewed on pages of one of my favorite books to look at and some craft papers. And that's 3 of our signatures ready. Also yesterday, we made this notebook, and this notebook is going to also fit in our journal. So this is what our notebook looks like. And in today's video, we shall continue identifying free items or everyday items at home that you can use for your junk journal. So without much waste of our time, please let's dive right in. So the next thing I want to do is to create another little booklet that would go in. So one more of our papers to go into our signature. So fold in half and half. I already folded some of them, so I'm not wasting your time on this video. So these are our signatures, and this is going to be the cover. So I'll need to trim this down a bit, and I'm not measuring, so I'm going to punch one hole here. I'm going to punch my second hole over here. And I'm going to punch my third hole over here. If you're doing this at home, careful, because if you're not using an actual punching tool, the needle can go through your finger, even though it's not a sharp bit, but it could hurt you. Punch out the holes. Not in from the middle. I'm going to leave some here. And our second one, go in with a hole again into the same hole. Don't split your thread, just go in with it. So and I can go in one more time through this bit again, one more time through this bit. We have our notebook ready. First page, second page. I'm going to think of the best way to do this. I found these pieces of scrap fabric and I'm going to sew it onto my journal cover. So, tie rope to it. I want my tie rope somewhere here in the middle, up a bit. We're going to sew this on, but we're going to be very careful not to sew on the stones. I'll try my best to sew in between the stones. I sewed halfway and my thread is gone. Welcome back to my creative space. So in my last two videos we started building this junk journal. We started by identifying 20 everyday items, 20 free things you can find at home to use in creating your own junk journals. So this is where our journal is so far. That's the cover, but for now let's look at the signatures and make sure that they are perfect. So I have a notebook in here which we've already finished with that, but we're going to work on the integrity of the pages. These pages were made from old envelopes, from white envelopes. So my advice would be, if you are going to make your pages from A4 envelopes, use the brown ones. The white ones are not quite as strong as the brown ones, but we're going to fix all that today in this video. So for now I'll put that in there so we know what belongs where. And for this page I'm not really going to do anything there. I just put down a sticker of Despicable Me over there. So I have this page. Now I have stitched a piece of scrap fabric here, and this is also a bookmark, little notebook here, and we're going to be putting these signatures together on today's video. So we're going to have a proper look at the signatures in a bit. I'll put that in there for now, and let's move on to the next page. And I have that page. I don't intend to do anything to it. I did a little bit of collage and put down some stickers and this write-up. I love the write-up, so I will leave this page as it is. And now moving to our next page. So we have glued down this envelope because we don't want to put anything inside, but I need to decorate and I need to cover this white bit. Now to my journaling spots. I love to have space to write a lot, so I have done this. And also towards the end we have another, let's take our bookmark out. We have another little notebook which we sewed on in yesterday's video, and this is what our notebook. And put the bookmark back on. Quickly turn our page over, and I have this beautiful page. I'm doing nothing to it. And on this page I have another booklet. So I sewed on my pocket with scrap fabric, and this is the second booklet, and we're going to be stitching this together on today's or in today's video. There's nothing here and there is nothing here, and for now I'm just going to take out everything that needs stitching up, which is this notebook. So our needle goes in here, out at the back. There we go. Into the middle. Okay. I think I'm just going to take the easy way out with this stuff. So everyone, I'm taking the easy way out. I've punched it, or punctured the hole, perforated it rather, and I'm just going to tie. So that's another little notebook. Now this is meant to fit in here. And this is meant to fit in here. So now we have all our signatures ready. We want to reinforce our pages because they were made from old envelopes. They are very weak, so we're going to be just gluing a lot of stuff down. So let's quickly take everything out so we can get started. Take that out, take that out. Signatures, and we're going to reinforce them now. Strip I cut from an art print. We're going to let that dry. This is what it looks like at the moment. And that's our first page. I've glued stuff down to make it even more sturdy. So we have our book. Put down a sticker. We've got our brick, and that's a pocket, and we've got a little booklet that we made earlier. Sewing was giving me a tough time, so I decided to just tie it up. Now, if you would like to know how this paper was made, I just created cycles with my highlighter pens to get this pattern. So I'll quickly put that back in there. And I also have this A4 book placemark, all the stuff. So I've got my wee little card. I don't know what this is, but I'm just going to put it there. And we've got this page. I've not done a lot to it. I just glued down stuff, and we've got that. I've got a little tab over here just in case. I've got another tab here, our pages, and of course we have another little book over here as well. We've got this cute notebook. So Essential Arts by Dali, and some collage, and some coffee dyed papers, and there you have it. So here's our journal cover, and so far so good. We've been able to sew in the lining. So my sewing is a bit crooked because of the stones. There was no way I could sew on the sequence. I'm going to get an A4 paper, 160 GSM, and I'm just going to line up my journal cover. Let's see. So just going to hand stitch it. This journal has been lingering for too long. Alright. We're just gonna stitch it. This is our sewing so far. And once my sewing machine is back, I'm going to do the bottom bit. But for now, I'm going to quickly put on our buttons. Remember we said if this would fit. I had different colors. I have more of pink, which I'm not really a fan of. So when my sewing machine is back, we shall be doing that place and this place. But for now, this is our back cover. Let's fit this baby in here. Our journal at the moment, this is what it looks like. So, and in the fourth and final video, we shall be attaching the journal to the cover. Quick flip through of our journal. So we've not finished. Journal is now 80% done. Notebook in from my tea dyed papers, coffee dyed papers. Put that in there. So shall we? And that's our next page. We have that card. I don't know what it is. So just put it in there. And we also made this simple tie notebooks. So I was going to sew, but it was giving me a hard time. I decided to just punch and tie. So it's Essential Dali, one of his prints, Dali's prints. And on my next video, I'll show you how I made papers like this on Canva. So that's going back in there. We're going to do a full flip through when we finish. And of course, I've showed you this some few days ago, which is just an A4 bookmark. I folded A4 into 3: fabric, rice paper, tea dyed paper, and coffee dyed paper. And that of it as I also have my little notebook, which is also going to fit right there. So that page is cute, and I've not done a lot to this. I glued down that card, I put a card sticker down, more card sticker, the 1 minute, the soldier's minute, 1 minute of everything at once, and anything before is nothing, everything after nothing, nothing compared to that 1 minute. So this was by Timothy Shelby. I added there, and we glued down this cover and just did some collage work over it. And we've got some other pages. That here we have our little, flip it over, we have this one-sided craft paper, and on this page, pocket sewed. I sewed it on, and I think I love the effect. And this is the book inside that folder, and I definitely love it. It was upside down, sorry. This is also another print by Dali. So Dali Essentials. I used to make this. Let's put our blue book back in there. Move to the next page. Just a collage of weird and random stuff that I just glued down together. And on this page we don't have a lot going on. Again, we just did a collage with some invincible tape, some craft papers, some old magazines, and finally we have our part 3. Something here, this stuff.